Okay, that took like 5 minutes to get set up, but let's do this. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. For those of you who don't know, my name is Megan. Welcome to my second ever video on YouTube. If you're a returning viewer, welcome back. Thank you so much for clicking on that first video. I am absolutely blown away by the response that it's gotten already. So if you're one of those people, thank you so much, and it's so nice to see you again. So for today's video, I thought we could do one of the video ideas that I suggested from my first video, and that is a tattoo tour. Maybe you have tattoos, maybe you're thinking of getting a tattoo, or maybe you're like me and you find tattoos addicting as hell to get. I just love tattoo related content. I don't know what it is about it, I just find it so entertaining. I love watching tattoo videos like this. I love the look of tattoos. I love getting tattoos. So I thought I'd take you guys through all, I think it's 26 tattoos, but I may have miscounted. And then also we're gonna touch upon my little experience with tattoo laser removal, tattoo regret, and kind of what that was like for me. Today's video is gonna be all about tattoos, okay? When I was a child, I'm curious to know if anyone else ever had this, but for some reason, I just kind of knew that I was always gonna get tattoos. It was almost as if that decision was kind of made for me. Growing up, I was forever changing my appearance with my hair, exhibit A, and getting new piercings, so I feel like it was pretty inevitable that I was eventually gonna start changing my appearance with tattoos. That being said, the concept did scare me a little bit. I feel like with a piercing, if you don't like it, you can just take it out, or if you don't like your hair, you can always just shave it and start again. But tattoos, I don't know, I thought every tattoo had to be super special and meaningful, and I was kind of scared of regretting any tattoos. Honestly, now that I think about it a little bit deeper, I was probably just very influenced by my mom. I remember showing her Pinterest boards of tattoo ideas that I had, and her just kind of looking at it and being like, really? That's what you would get? And then me just kind of being like, okay, never mind, sorry. I just cared a lot more about her opinion, and I still do care about her opinion. Now, when I change my appearance, I'll do it first and then show her. And it can be a little surprise. You can't say anything bad because I've already done it now. So I suppose the way I got my foot in the door was, I know, what if my first tattoo is dedicated to my mom, and then she can't hate it, because how could she hate it? This is for her. So I ended up getting my first tattoo in August 2021 when I was 20 years old, and it is this picture of a honeybee. My mom, she's a beekeeper, and I really like this idea because although it's a tattoo dedicated to her, it doesn't necessarily scream that it's a tattoo for my mom. Not that there's anything wrong with that, that just wasn't really the kind of tattoo that I was looking for. Although I have been asked on more than one occasion if I'm from Manchester, and I'm not. Bees just also symbolize dedication and hard working. They're also just really bloody cool insects. You would literally die without them. How could you not like bees? It's a pretty good tattoo, and I like it a lot. It was only a few months after that when I decided to get my next tattoo. I believe it was November time. It is this picture here of a frog reading a book with a cup of tea. It's actually a tattoo complimenting one of my friends. Hers is also a frog doing a pigeon pose. These designs were from drawings based off of this artist on Instagram, and I love this tattoo, I really do. I wasn't really in the best place mentally when I got this, and I was obsessed with TikTok at this point. TikTok was making up like half of my personality, so I think I just had an audio of
"Don't be sad, go get a tattoo"
floating around in my head. I just really wanted to do something that would make me feel better in that moment, and so when my friend asked me spontaneously if I wanted to get a tattoo with her, I said yes. So other than that, it really has no other proper meaning other than the fact that I like frogs, I like tea, I like reading, and I like the friend who I got it with. So, and I find this really funny. My mum loves the bee tattoo, obviously, how could she not? It's for her. But she hates this frog tattoo so much. She thinks it's so stupid. But I mean, clearly she doesn't know what she's talking about. I mean, it's so cute. But this is what I mean. I feel like if I showed her that drawing of the frog before getting the tattoo, her reaction would have probably put me off from getting the tattoo. But because I got it, and then she found out after, what are you gonna do? What's gonna happen?
What are they gonna do? What's gonna happen?
I didn't even tell her about this one actually. It was my friend who I got it with. It was her mum who ended up telling my mum. And then she just kind of texted me one day and was like, do you have something to tell me? And I was like, Surprise! So after that, again, it really wasn't that much time until the next tattoo. This time it wasn't just a complimentary tattoo, it was a matching tattoo. And you guessed it, it was with my mom. My mom was planning a visit to come see me, and jokingly she was like, we should get matching tattoos. And me still being in a bit of a
Don't be sad, go get a tattoo
mindset, I was like, okay, bet, I'll book the appointment right now. And I managed to find a last minute slot. We went back and forth a few times on what we were actually gonna get, but we ended up settling for this here. It's actually the skyline view from our house, and we both got it in the same place as well, just like our left inner bicep. And I just think this tattoo is really sweet and really cute. Let's just hope that I don't fall out with my mom at any point in the future, because she just has one matching tattoo to deal with, but I'll have 2 tattoos to deal with if that happens. Also, I believe it clearly shows that I'm the favorite child, because my mom doesn't have a matching tattoo with my brother, so I don't make the rules. So after that, I didn't wait long again before I got my next tattoo. Are you sensing a theme here? I believe it was April 2022, so just 2 months after that matching tattoo with my mom. And it's these leaves here just below my collarbones, and I really did not give this tattoo much thought at all. I think I thought about it for maybe like a day, and by the following day I had booked myself an appointment to go get this done. But you know what? For the thought that I gave it, I absolutely love this tattoo, or tattoos. It's one of my favorites. I just love it when I'm wearing like a more open neckline and you can see them. I just think they're stunning. By this point, I had a mix of tattoos that had meaning versus tattoos that had absolutely no meaning, and I realized I like them all. And any past mindset of, oh, my tattoos have to be meaningful, it just kind of vanished by this point. Sometimes if you just like how a tattoo looks and you want to get it and you think that you'll like it in the years to come, to me that is reason enough. So if you have a tattoo that you have been wanting to get for years, this is your sign. So with this mindset, I was ready to take on the emotional roller coaster that would turn out to be my nature themed patchwork sleeve. I had the first sleeve session in May of 2022, so just 1 month after the leaves, and I think I had the last session when it got finished in July 2023, so just over a year actually. This was quite spaced out for both financial reasons and also the fact that I didn't want to have to take a holiday to get tattooed, because the job that I was working at the time, it had like the bare minimum legal holiday requirements, so I didn't want to take a holiday just to go get tattooed. I would always want to get like a full day Saturday session instead, but for obvious reasons, people probably also have this thought pattern, those end up being the first appointments to go, so he was super booked up for his Saturday session, so it just ended up having to be quite a long time. But yeah, I'll just start at the bottom of my arm and work upwards, I suppose. Some of these have meaning, and some of these I just liked how it looked. Let's get into it. So starting out, we've got this pea pod, and this actually does have meaning. My mom has a vegetable garden back at our family home, and I remember when my brother and I and friends, we would all play hide and seek, and it was always really easy to find them because they would always be hiding behind the pea plant eating peas while they were waiting to be found. And it's just a really sweet childhood memory that I have, and so I wanted to remind myself of it. Next we have an acorn and this olive branch. These don't really have any meaning at all, just liked how they looked. Next we have this branch that sort of wraps around and goes up my inner forearm. I'll be honest with you, I don't even think I know what species of tree this is. I just liked how it looked, and I liked the way it sort of moved up my arm. Then I've got this little bumblebee, C.A, I was speaking about bees. They're also just really bloody cool insects. And then I've also got this other tree branch, again, no meaning, just sort of tying into the aesthetic. We've also got this olive branch on my elbow, and at this point, I know that olive branch was one of the last things to go on the sleeve, and I was kind of running out of ideas what to put on it at this point, and my tattoo artist was just like, do you want another olive branch? And I was like, go for it. So that's why there's 2 olive branches. Next up, we've got this spider, this beetle, this ant, and this woodlouse. And do any of these have meanings? No, but I was pretty much finished my sleeve at this point. It just needed like little fillers to fill in the gaps at the end. And what's small for a nature themed tattoo patchwork sleeve thing? bugs. So that's why there's so many bugs. In the center of my elbow though, there is this symbol, and it's actually the earth symbol when you look at it straight on. To me, when I look down at it, it looks like the air symbol to me, but it's fine. I know that it's the earth symbol. I just thought it was a cool centerpiece to kind of tie in the whole nature theme. Moving up on the side of my arm, we've got this helicopter seed. So I was so impressed with myself when I figured out the design for this. Some helicopter seeds you can get where the two seeds are quite far apart, but you can also get different ones where the two seeds are quite close together. Whether it's extended or bent, it kind of looks like either type of helicopter seed you can get. And so when I came up with this, I was just mind blown. I was like, this is genius. I'm so impressed with myself. My mind never ceases to amaze me. What comes up to that? Here as well on my inner arm, we've just got a 4-leaf clover. This one actually does also have meaning because ever since I was 5 years old, I have probably found about over 200 4-leaf clovers in my life. That's just like a weird random fact about me. Yeah, I don't know what it was. There was just a lot of 4-leaf clovers around the fields of our family house, and I was just like really good at finding them. Whenever I would go on walks with my mum, we could be walking and I could be like, oh, stop, hold on, and just pick up a 4-leaf clover. Just, I don't know, I was just really good at finding them. So, and then moving on to like my upper arm area, we've got these raspberries here. This one actually also does have meaning. In my mum's vegetable garden again, there's this massive raspberry bush that covers part of the fence that surrounds the garden, and I don't know, I just always really liked that spot. Over on the sort of back area of my arm, I've got a pine cone and a pine branch. No meaning. But on the inside of my arm, I've got this species of plant. I don't actually know the real name. If I find it, I'll maybe put it up on the screen here. But what we call them in Aberdeenshire is Carol Doddies. And you used to play a game. One person would be holding it in one hand, one person would be holding it in the other. And you take it in turns to like whack this weed's head off. It was just a weed at the side of the road. I just have really fond memories of playing this game with my brother and with my mum while I was waiting for the school bus. So yeah, I just wanted to get something that also reminded me of that. It's just a sweet childhood memory that I have. Working its way up, I've got this ivy branch that kind of goes up onto my sort of upper armpit area. There's some ivy that grows up on the outside of one of the walls of our house, and I just always thought it looked really cool and I wanted some ivy. A lot of these are to do with my family house and just general childhood, so I was right. Some do have meaning. And then we just have another little bug there as well, again as a filler. This is a forky tail. These actually kind of scare me in real life a little bit, but I thought they looked really cool, and I needed a filler and it needed to be slightly bigger than the smaller bugs, so I went with a slightly longer insect and it ended up being a forky tail, but I think it looks kind of cool. And then we have this snail here. Again, I got this drawing actually from this artist that I'll put up on the screen here. I did take the design from this drawing. I just want to credit the original artist for that too. And then finally, last but not least, we have this carrot. Can you guess where this childhood memory comes from? If you guessed my mum's vegetable garden at our family home, you are correct. But also, like, carrots are just my favorite vegetable and they're really tasty. And that is also probably a contributing reason as to why I picked a carrot. But yeah, so I think that is everything on my sleeve. I really hope I haven't missed anything. Okay, so that is everything on my sleeve, except for one thing. I deliberately left out this mushroom. It's because this mushroom, oh my god, it caused me a lot of grief back when I first got it, and this is where the tattoo laser removal and the sort of tattoo regret really comes into it. It was about this particular piece of the patchwork sleeve. So I just have to say before I start this little segment of the video that I don't blame my tattoo artist for any of this. I think he's a really talented guy and I don't blame him for how this whole series of events panned out. But that being said, when I got this tattoo, I don't know if he just didn't know what a mushroom looked like, but when I first got it done, it actually looked like this. And I don't know how clear this picture is, it's one of the only ones I could find. But as soon as he did it, like, I looked down and all I could see was that it kind of looks like the foreskin of a penis. And then also just the grass, I'm not really sure, but it kind of looks like the mushroom is just floating above these weird lines of grass. and then for some reason there's these little bits of grass kind of just poking out from the side of it. And I remember when he was putting the stencil on, like I did see these horizontal lines on the stem of the mushroom, and I just thought it was shading. I wasn't actually aware that these were proper lines that he was gonna end up tattooing. But yeah, like as soon as this one got done, like I was really happy with the other tattoos that we did that session, but I just remember leaving the tattoo studio feeling not quite right. So I ended up leaving. I didn't say anything at the time and I let it heal. I gave myself some time to get used to this funky little fungi, but I could not unsee what I had seen. Yeah, I just couldn't get over of how it looked, and the frustrating thing was I would try to speak to other people about it and they would just be like, oh no, it doesn't look that bad to me at all. But when it's on your arm and you're looking at it every single day, that's another thing. I was working as a dental nurse at the time, so I literally had to wear short sleeves and see this tattoo. It was right in my line of vision all day, every day pretty much. And I remember I would take concealer and eyeliner and just like draw on this mushroom and try to change it or manipulate it to see what I could do, to see how I could make myself be okay with it. I was just trying to do anything that I could to try and live with it, to be honest. That sounds really dramatic, but it kind of caused me a lot of mental turmoil. I remember I would sit on the sofa and I would cry to my partner Andrew about how I couldn't get over how much I just didn't like how this one happened to look. I could only find these examples of it because I've since deleted my camera roll, but when I tell you my camera roll was just full of pictures of this mushroom with various designs of eyeliner and ballpoint pen and concealer on it. Yeah, it was really hard to go through actually looking back. This was the first time getting tattooed that I really sort of realized the permanence of it. And basically I was experiencing tattoo regret for the first time. Like I regretted getting this mushroom. I regretted agreeing to this being tattooed on my body, because if I knew that it was going to look like that, I wouldn't have got it, obviously. Yeah, I would have probably picked something else to go in that space instead, but, you know, I didn't communicate effectively enough with my tattoo artist. I should have double checked, hey, are those lines just shading, or are you actually tattooing those lines? Yeah, the last straw for me when I knew that this needed to be fixed was when I was cycling home from work. It was a warm summer's day, so I'm wearing short sleeves. I'm cycling, I'm literally looking down at this tattoo, and I almost swerve into a car because I'm not looking where I'm going, because I'm too busy looking down at this tattoo just filled with so much regret for it. And that was really a turning point for me when I was like, okay, I almost died. That sounds a bit dramatic. I didn't almost die. It really wasn't a big collision or anything like that. So when I got back home, thankfully in one piece, I started researching different tattoo laser services. So the bits that I decided to get rid of were the inner horizontal lines within the stem, and then sort of the lines that were poking out to the side of the stem. I think I went for a block of 5 sessions, and you had to wait 6 weeks in between sessions for it to heal. So this was a very long process. I wish I took progress pictures of this actually to sort of see how it faded over time, but I could only find this one picture. It's not very good. You can see like a little scab that I got from the laser, and the bits that did get lasered, they're sort of a bit more brownish compared to the black of the rest of the tattoo. But yeah, I just remember going through that whole period, like it was an emotional roller coaster because I wasn't sure how it was going to turn out. I wasn't sure how effective the laser results were going to be. I wasn't sure how I was going to alter the tattoo once it was lasered. You know, I was brainstorming ideas with Sharpie. By this point, my sleeve was almost finished, and I was upfront about my laser removal with my tattoo artist, and I sort of told him, you know, look, I really loved the sleeve so much, I just was unhappy with this one specific part, and so I've gone to get a part of it lasered. And he was really understanding, he was apologetic about it, but again, just a disclaimer, I don't blame him for this at all. So once my sessions of laser had finished and it was all healed, I, of course, was drawing on my arm with ballpoint pen, and I ended up showing this picture to my tattoo artist, and we were going to basically join up the lines to make them look like more solid pieces of grass. I hope I'm explaining that well. There's a picture here. And I basically showed it to him. I was like, you need to do this exactly how I've drawn it so that I could be happy with this mushroom and so that I can live in peace with this. And I remember my sweet boyfriend Andrew checking in on me during this tattoo appointment, and I was so relieved to text him that the mushroom was looking so much better, and it was just such a relief of a day to kind of put that whole thing to rest and to just look down at my arm and actually get to admire all the beautiful art that was on it and not this one specific spot that I didn't like. It was a really good day. But yeah, as you can probably see, there is actually scarring from this laser removal. The guy at one of my last appointments, he got a new machine, and I don't think he had the settings on quite right because it did end up giving me burn scars on my arm. So love that. Yeah, it doesn't bother me at all. But you know what? It really doesn't bother me actually, because when I think back to what it looked like before, to me personally, it's a really big improvement. I would rather have fibrosis on my arm than foreskin. But yeah, I hope this can be a good example of why it's so important to make sure that you and your tattoo artist are on the same page, because had I have just communicated a bit more effectively, then I probably would have saved myself this mistake and those months of emotional turmoil that fungi can cause. But yeah, don't be scared to be fussy with your tattoo artist in terms of line work or shading or placement or size or anything, because at the end of the day, you're the one who's going to have to see it every day. It's going to be on your body for the rest of your life. So if you're in any sort of doubt or reluctance, or you're not happy with something, I really encourage you, please speak up. So moving on, that felt like a whole separate story time within itself. Let's continue on to my most recent and by far my most painful tattoo, and that is my upper back tattoo. This tattoo, guys, oh my god. Well, 1, stunning. 2, excruciating. I got this finished about 2 weeks ago as of filming this, and I love it. Plot twist, it was actually the same guy who did my sleeve and the mushroom, so I guess that just proves there's no bad blood there. He is an extremely talented artist, and I knew he would do an amazing job with this project, so that's why I reached back out to him and asked if he wanted to work on this with me. So he designed this for me after I sent him a couple of inspiration pictures, and he did the line work in 3 hours. This is what it looked like after the first session. And then just 2 weeks ago, he filled in the line work, and that took another 6 hours, and we managed to do it all in one 6-hour session. Yeah, I remember we started tattooing just before 11 in the morning, and we were finished at about 5 p.m. and only had 2 short breaks during that time. And the pain was, wow. Yeah, one of the hardest bits about the healing process as well was honestly not being able to like lean back on the sofa or in bed, because that pressure against the back was just too painful. And then also not being able to go to the gym because, well, I couldn't really get it sweaty, and I couldn't even put my sports bra on, it was too painful. I couldn't even do something like yoga because that would also contort the skin, so I kind of just had to be like this hunched back stationary lump. And I was missing that endorphin rush, you know, that you get from exercise. But yeah, this past week I've been managing to get back to the gym, and it's been feeling really good. So, and also it looks so cool in my sports bra, and my gym confidence is just, woo. I mean, I was already feeling good in the gym, but you know when you're in the gym and you see people with cool tattoos, you're like, that's how I want to feel. Yeah, there's a couple of patchy bits, but to be honest, I don't see this one as much. Not like I saw that mushroom, so it doesn't really bother me. But yeah, that was it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. It was so fun to make this video, and so fun to actually finally be posting content that I've had ideas for. So I hope you enjoyed this one. And thank you so much again for the response on my first video. And hopefully I will see you guys soon. I do have exams coming up because, you know, turns out when you go to university you actually have to study and put in work, so I don't know when this will be going up. I don't know when the next video will be coming up, but I really hope to see you guys soon in the future. Yeah, thank you so much. Bye.